Hi guys, Andy here. I keep a few different devices and I try and keep the best of different price brackets. So I have the Moto G as my budget end, I have my Nexus 6 as the top end, and at the moment I have my Nexus 5 as the kind of mid-range price bracket. Now you can pick them up around about 140 on eBay, and the Xiaomi Mi 4i, seen here on the right, can be bought for around about 165. So the Xiaomi is slightly more expensive, but it is actually a new device, only 3 months old. The Nexus 5 coming on to 2 years old now. They both run Lollipop, although the Nexus 5 is on 5.1 as opposed to 5.0.2 of the Xiaomi 4i on the right. The Nexus has the Snapdragon 800, the Xiaomi has the Snapdragon 615, the Nexus has the Adreno 330, the Xiaomi the Adreno 405. As far as RAM, they're both around about 2 gigs. So it might be a fairly interesting face-off. Let's see how we get on. We'll start things with the Angry Birds opening test. Here we go. Now, I have to admit, I actually at first thought, did I press it on the Xiaomi? There we go. So clearly the Nexus 5 got there quite a long way before the Xiaomi Mi 4i. In fact, I've not seen such a convincing win for a long time, but we'll try it once more just in case. It looks like we're going to get a similar result, though not quite as big, maybe it was. So yeah, pretty convincing victory for the Nexus 5. We're then going to move on to the benchmark test. You can see here again, just showing you kind of the basic specs of each device. Let's go ahead and run the benchmark. Now you can normally get a rough idea for the score that's going to be produced because of how quickly the device moves through the tests. So in this case, initially, it's actually they're quite similar, up to sort of, well, yeah. But then you basically will see the Nexus 5 starts pulling away at quite a quick rate. We actually see the Nexus 5 completes with the Xiaomi Mi 4i still about 50% of the way through. So via editing, we jump ahead though. Because I have to be honest, the Xiaomi 4i, that's the slowest I've ever seen this benchmark run. And honestly, I'm quite surprised it scored as well as it did. Only 400 behind the Nexus 5. Having said that, like I say, you can get the Nexus 5 for 140 quid and it's almost 2 years old. And it just bettered the 3-month-old Xiaomi Mi 4i. Anyway, we move outside now for the GPS test. First of all, I'm going to reset the AGPS state of both devices. I'm then going to get my way out of the app as quick as I can and then go back in. Now it's a little bit unfair. I think, well, I'm fairly sure my Nexus 5 does have a GPS fault that has been reported with a lot of Nexus 5s. Unfortunately, I'm a long way out of my warranty by the time I realised it was a genuine fault. Now the Mi 4i locked up pretty damn quick there, as you might be able to see. I know it's because it's bright outside, obviously the reflections make it a bit difficult to see. But the Mi 4i locked very quickly with no issues, good accuracy. And bring it up towards the camera. So it's got 5 meter accuracy. That's fine. I don't think we'll bother waiting for the Nexus 5. As I say, it's not particularly useful because mine has a fault. Well, fairly sure it does. But what you can see is the Xiaomi Mi 4i does lock very quickly. So we move on to the speaker test. I will play a bit of music from both devices and leave you to listen to them, basically. Here we go. Both actually quite similar, neither massively loud. Let's try a voice.
Is when it's going to be kind of like the big deal, like this is
which is kind of a very slow process to go through. It's a case-by-case basis.
all stepping stones for as over the coming year, over the next.
So the FAA is, people are waiting on the FAA to kind of release final rules, and that could happen in.
So generally, both very similar, but actually the Xiaomi did sound a bit better, had a slightly more rounded sound, the Nexus 5 a little bit tinny. We're moving on to the browser test. I'm just resetting the browser states in both of the devices. We'll start off with the BBC website. I'll try and press them at the same time. And I think you'll agree the Nexus 5 quite easily the winner. Quite similar to the Angry Birds opening, really. We'll try Engadget next, which is a bit of a more complex, detailed site. Let's see how they get on. Again, the Nexus 5 takes it. So it's 2-0 already, but we'll try just one more. As I usually do, we'll go to NFL.com or mnfl.com. And again, you see the Nexus 5, I think fairly clearly the victor. You see them both scrolling. Not sure there's too much to take there to show them apart. At that point, well, you see a bit of lag there in the Xiaomi. You see it scrolled. So there we go. They're both very similarly priced. Like I said, the Nexus 5 on the left you can get for about 145, 150. The Xiaomi Mi 4i you get around 165, 170. But actually, it looks like your money's better spent in the older Nexus 5 device. Having said that, I do actually really like the feel of the Xiaomi Mi 4i. It's got a nice clear screen as well. But I suppose it's got some negatives because it's sort of, well, Chinese based rather than globally based, I guess you could say the Nexus 5 is. Anyway, there you go. Reasonably interesting head to head. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. My name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon.